Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Creation Divine. Today I am going to be talking about, I write everything down and I just lost my paper again. Already starting off this way. So we're starting off with talking about spirituality of sage and meditation. So, if you have not followed or seen any of my other videos, you want to start off with, if you want, look into all my videos and look into new introduction. That's the video you want to start with, kind of like going over everything. And then there's also another video that's called the beginning of creation. And then I have another one that's called part 1, what I create, and then part 2, what I create. So again, to check out my other videos explaining and going through almost everything, you want to look for the title New Introduction, and another video with the title The Beginning of Creation, and then the two other videos, which would be part 1, what I create, and part 2, what I create. This one is going to be named Spirituality of Sage and Meditation. So pretty much I'm gonna go over, sorry, my husband decided he was going to make faces at me and pick on me while trying to do my video. Okay, so as you can tell at the beginning of my video, of this one anyway, I showed you this book, Jesus Calling, and the Holy Bible. I am very spiritual. I am not religious, but I am very spiritual. So I'm a very open-minded person. And if you are not an open-minded person and this video does not resonate to you, then just keep scrolling. If this does resonate to you, then I feel like this message found you for a reason. If you love crystals and sage and all that fun stuff, you're in the right spot. If you don't, then if you want to give it a try, you want to check out what I talk about on here, that's better, because I'd love to kind of help you. I know I do not have my makeup on, but you know what? I've been going all natural for like the last 3 days because I just feel like my makeup is like hurting my eyes for some reason. I got this pink cup. So what I do with this is, as you can tell, you know how you play the game of like drawing a little piece of paper out of the hat to choose what, you know. Well, you know how people have tarot cards, right? And they like do that, but I don't have tarot cards. I don't have that. I don't play with that. Not that I'm against it or anything, because I watch people who pull tarot cards and they're great people, but I just don't do it. That's why my title is Creation Divine, because I'm creative. I come up with creative ways. Because I am searching for something new. I'm searching for something that isn't ordinary. So that's what I go for, because I feel like there is never any right or wrong way for spirituality. You believe in God, you have him in your heart, that's what matters. I believe that anything is possible. So people want to mention the underworld, hell, heaven, other gods and goddesses, mystical creatures, whatever it may be. Anything is possible. But I do have one thing and one rule on my channel, is I believe there is one God who will always be more powerful than anything else. Yes, in people's beliefs there could be more than one God or more than one goddess, or whatever the case may be, but I believe if there is, they work for God. They all have their They all have their place and stuff, but God is always, he's always going to be, yeah. Anyway, back to the subject. So as you can tell, I have my sage. I'm going to have to relight that. Hold on. I have my sage. As you can tell, it's kind of burnt down. But I have what you call a, starts with a P, is like pensato or something stick. It does pretty much the same exact thing as sage does. It cleanses the air. I kept burning through my sage, and so I have to put it in a Ziploc baggie now to burn. But what I do is, a lot of people call them smoking or smudging or saging. I always cleanse my crystals, aka sweeties, before I use them for meditation, just so I know that it's a clarity, that they are clear and ready to do their work. Let's see. It looks like I'm just gonna have to relight everything. I'm not sure what's going on tonight. Oh, it's still lit. You can see it's still lit. I just need to relight it here in a minute. As you can see, I'm very spiritual. I smudge everything. I even smudge the inside of my place. Let's see. We're going off subject here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go into the fact of why I use sage and how I use it and why I use it. So before I get into me, I want to tell you the spiritual meaning behind sage. So it says, in a spiritual context, sage particularly was burned in a smudging ritual. It is believed to cleanse and purify energy, both personal and environmental, promoting healing, clarity, and connection to the spiritual realm. So, sage doesn't only just purify your energy and all of that, because it does that too, but it is scientifically proven that smudging sage in your home cleans the air, and I've got proof behind that, because number one, you can look it up on the internet, and number two, my personal experience. One day, me and my kids and husband were just kind of feeling crappy. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna go for this. So I set my sage. I started my sage, so it started smoking, and I'm not kidding you. Like I burned it all day in our home, and it really felt as if the air was cleaner, because the next day everybody was feeling 10 times better than I would before. Like, I wish I would have known about this back when COVID hit. Like, I've started, I'll tell you a little bit about me, okay? I grew up religious. Like, I grew up going to church every Sunday, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. But I always kind of knew that there was more to it. Like, yeah, religion's great and it's good for a kid to grow up on and have like a setting, right? But I knew that there was more to my gift, and we all have gifts, in ways, and some people are just not open to it, and so unfortunately they never get to see their gift. But I started to take interest in like rock hunting, and I started to take interest in like different things, right? And I started to experiment more and more as I got older, and that's when I discovered that these guys here helped me a lot spiritually. Like I said, I believe in God and all that, but the crystals, I've noticed that when I go to meditate and I'm holding my crystals in my hands, I can connect to my intuition, my higher self, and all of that a lot better. They just amplify that energy, and so I can connect with God and my guardian angels and my spirit guides better. That's what helps me the most is and praying. I pray a lot. Oh gosh, I pray like a champ. But sage is one of the best cleansing properties you can have for not just spirituality, but also sickness. So just remember that. I mean, they got sage bundles at Walmart. So I mean, they're not that expensive. You can go to Walmart and buy them. And you can tell the difference if sage is not authentic or is authentic. And I'm telling you, the stuff from Walmart, it is real sage, because I've had fresh, what's with me not being able to talk? I have harvested fresh sage from my mom's herbal garden before, and it tied them up into sage bundles, and I have, smudged with them, and they smell the same exact and everything as they would from Walmart. So I can tell you and I can assure you it is okay to buy sage from Walmart. To give you an idea where they would be located would be more about like the candles and the essential oil areas aisle in Walmart. So if you're curious of like, well, really, there's sage? Yes, there is. It depends. Like the one here, yeah, there is. I'm not sure if it's like that worldwide in the United States, but I know that it is a thing where my Walmart is. So yes, I do buy it from Walmart if I do not have any extra sage from my mom, which is not happening because it's almost springtime. So then I will start being able to harvest the grown stuff, and it smells the same, it works the same. It's sage. So let's see what else. I want to kind of go into why I use it, like really go into depth about it. Number one, sage helps calm me down. Sage will help calm my anxiety, and it helps calm my depression. I feel, how would you say it? I feel more spiritually intact when I use sage. I feel like I honestly feel like it cleanses my soul and my energy. I feel like it makes everybody else in my house in a better mood and happier. I also notice too, like before people come to visit, if I smudge the house like the night before, it seems like people are a lot more calmer, like they feel that more cleaner energy when they're coming in. So that's another reason why I like using it. I like to do manifestations with sage, so I sit there and I do manifestations with it. It just kind of helps clear your mind. It helps you connect more with your higher self. So that's kind of my story on why I use sage. And if you need to do more research, I can send you a link on my descriptions below more about it if you would like to do more research yourself on it, or you just look up all about sage or whatever. But I think I'll put a link below in my description about it, so it's less work for you to look it up. That way you can just click on it and start reading on it. We are going to get into some spirituality like connections tonight. Like when I meditate, like I said, my higher self connects towards my crystals who are calling out with their energies in a way. And so what I do is I kind of like observe them, and I hold them, and I just meditate and I pray and all of that, and it just kind of brings me forth to what should I talk about And so like I said, if you found this video, then obviously it has came to you for a reason. I do not believe in coincidences. And I also believe like this message will be timeless. So let's start. So holding my rose quartz, sweetie, crystal, my rose quartz tower, I should be more specific. What I got from that is you're really needing to find spirituality and love. So, which is amazing because rose quartz is a stone of unconditional love. So, whoever you are, you're needing a healing of unconditional love. Like you're needing unconditional love, or you have found unconditional love. You're needing emotional healing is what it is, and then self-acceptance and fostering compassion and peace. So that's what you're needing. And so when we come forth to that, it seems as if you're either needing it or you've already got it, or you'll be having it in the near future. Now, the best way I can describe this happening for you is I write down what I'm feeling from each crystal, and that's what I got with my rose quartz tower, because that was the first one I held. I got spirituality. So you're either needing help with spirituality, or you've got it and you're just needing to strengthen it. And then I got love. So you either are needing love, or you found love, or you are having love in your nearest future, like in really soon in your future. Spirituality, you've either got spirituality or you're curious about spirituality. So that's the two things I got so far. If this doesn't resonate to you, I'm sorry. I am doing my best, and continue watching this, because there could be other things that I'm getting that is going to help you. I got those two things with my rose quartz tower. Okay, each crystal has a different energy, and they each give us all different answers. And then I've got my aurora clear quartz tower, and what I got from that one is I got higher self, our auras. And so with higher self, you're either needing to connect with your higher self better, or you have found your higher self, or again, you will find it in the near future. Your aura. Your aura, it seems to be really pure and sweet, and you want to make sure you open that aura as you go on. And the best way for you to be able to find love, spirituality, your higher self, and cleansing your aura is by meditation. Meditating and aligning your chakras and praying to God is what's really going to help you. A lot of people are like, well, praying is a lot of work. Well, God puts a lot of work into you too. So you gotta take the time to have time for Him, because He puts all His time and efforts into you. Like, He puts a lot of His time and efforts into you. And then I held my ruby kyanite. It's hard to remember like how to, because I know it has ruby, but then the kyanite part. This is ruby kyanite tower. If you look back at my videos, you will see, even in my short videos, you will see I have my ruby kyanite under a black light, and the ruby crystal shows right through the black light. I do believe that video is, just go check my short videos, and then I do believe it's either at new introduction or the beginning of creation. One of those two. This one is in. Um, let's see. So when I meditated with my ruby kyanite, I got nature, earth, and your inner authenticity, authentic. Okay, your natural self. Okay, so nature, earth, and you know that word. So pretty much what that's saying is you either really love nature or you really need to start living nature, because when you go, and I don't expect you to go out in the middle of winter to go like ground with the earth, but once it gets nicer, what I've learned is when I go out and I'll like go for a walk through like a park or through anywhere, even if you have family that has some property, I will go for a walk. And what I like to do is I like to bring my sweeties with me, and I like to go grounding with them. With crystals, it is so important to make sure you connect them to earth. You put them on the ground next to you, and they connect with the earth's vibrations, and it helps them cleanse and realign themselves. So with nature, you're going to be doing a lot of grounding, and you need to do a lot of grounding. Either it's saying that that you already are, or that you really need to. You need to really embrace that. Like maybe look into meditation while outside in a quiet spot. If you have kids, have the chance to do that, maybe it'd be a good option to try to find somebody to just at least watch your kids, or do it with your kids. Like have your kids go with you, and you and your kids just sit down together and meditate together. That's gonna be your best bet. That I do that with my kids. I'll sit down with them and I'll meditate with them too. And they love it. They absolutely love it. I got the symbol earth, which means pretty much grounding. It's just letting you know, hey, this is really important. You really need to be grounding with earth right now in nature. Your inner authenticity, you know what I mean. I can't talk tonight. I don't know what my problem is. Just your true self, guys. Like how authentic you are. How authentic are you? Are you working really hard to become your true self and just be natural with yourself and bring in your inner peace and your inner child in you? Or are you having a hard time doing that? If you are having a hard time doing with that, you really need to start giving that to yourself. For some reason, and I don't like mentioning this in my videos, and I don't know why the word just kept popping up on me, so don't be offended by this word, because I normally do not like bringing this up, but for some reason the word just kept popping up on my head, but witchcraft came up. So either there is somebody who is in witchcraft that's watching my videos and needing help, or are curious about witchcraft. Now, I have in the past experienced with that, and if I had the option, I would, because a lot of people put a bad label on witchcraft. A lot of people are like, oh, that's evil, that's terrible, that's bad. To be honest with you, I do know some people who do witchcraft and they do nothing bad. Like, they do more healings. Like, they'll do like healing type deals for people, like healing spells and love healings, stuff like that. A lot of people take it as, well, you don't want to mess with that because you don't know if it'll backfire on you. If you know what you're doing and you know that you're connecting with God with it and not the devil with it, then you're gonna be okay. But that's why I don't mess with that stuff, because I don't want to take the risk. But I do know people who do it, and I don't look down on them for it, because that's how they use their gift and their intuition. So I feel like judging people by that kind of thing is wrong. It's very wrong. I do more manifestations. So I really practice manifesting things. And that, I guess that could be similar to it, but you are who you are. And if you're trying to do good for everybody, that's what matters. And I don't look down on you if you do witchcraft. That's your happiness, okay? But you do need to be careful, because there has been times where people have gotten hurt from it for not having the right guidance on it and not knowing how to do it properly. It does take a lot of time and patience, and that's why you have to be very careful, because you could actually hurt yourself really bad, or somebody else. So you gotta make sure you do your research and find somebody that knows what they're doing. And even that, you gotta find somebody who doesn't do the bad things. It's a lot more work than what you think you're getting yourself into with witchcraft. That's why God mentions that it's not a good thing to do, because he knows, yeah, there may be people out there who can, but that's why he mentions not to, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So it's not that it's not real, because it's very much so real, but God doesn't want us to practice it because of the dangers it can put you through. But if you know what you're doing, then go right at it. But I personally, I stick to manifesting and my sweeties, just because I feel more comfortable that way. Let's see. I also got vibes too that hippie love, hippies. I have nothing against hippies either. I think they're really cool, down to earth people. And like I've mentioned before, there's people who judge and judge and judge. And it's none of their business what you do. Whatever you do makes you happy is what makes you happy. Just like anybody who does witchcraft. Whatever makes you happy makes you happy. As long as you are doing the right things, as long as you're being a good person and loving and not doing bad, I'm happy for you. So that's what I got. That's what I got with my ruby kyanite. Was what I just mentioned. So when I went to go hold my rose quartz crystal ball and my raw piece of rose quartz, I got the message of manifesting lovers. So if you are lonely and you're needing to have some love and peace in your life, manifesting lovers. So I want to go over manifestation. If you are alone and you haven't found your love or your true love yet, your best bet is to sit down and pray to God first. Pray to God and say, hey, God, I'm really alone, so forth. Tell him what's on your mind. That after that, get out a piece of paper and a pen. Start thinking about who this person is, what you're looking for in a relationship, what this person's going to look like, all of this and that, and write it down. And tell yourself every night, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship, this is what he or she is going to look like, this is what yada yada yada, right? You really want to work hard on it, and then you want to practice on your affirmations, what you are thankful for. You want to make it a very positive experience manifesting a lover, because if you're going to manifest this person, then you want to make sure that they are good for you. Another thing I want to mention too is I can, if you want to go into further detail about manifestation, which I feel like I've kind of went over it good. Manifestation is pretty much telling the universe that you are certain that you are going to have this, but you've got to put in detail. Like, you got to put in detail who this person looks like, what this person's going to be like, all of that. Because if you're going to manifest love into your life, you want to make sure you got the right person. Because, oh, you don't want to manifest like, for instance, say I want a hottie, I mean, it's easy to get someone who's hot, but you've got to have their personalities intact. Like this hunk right here, he is a good manifestation. He's glaring at me right now. No, he was a good manifestation. I'm really actually really happy. I went way off track there for a minute. So, like I said, manifestation is pretty much putting down, I am certain that this is, that this, yada, yada, yada. You want to make sure, I am certain. You've got to pretty much take it as that you've already have it. And you write it down. And you practice every night. Like, you constantly practice it. I feel you staring into my soul over there. You gotta constantly, he was really staring at me. Don't let him fool you. You gotta really practice manifesting. Write it down. Write specifically who you need, what you want out of this person, personality, their likes and dislikes, their wants and needs, and all of that. And I have watched so many YouTube videos on women or men who have sat down and really tried to manifest their love of their life. And it can take a while. The universe works funny in ways. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, next month, next year. You never know. But the universe and God, they bring forth your life where it needs to be before, because they need to make sure you're ready. They need to make sure you're in the same vibration. And that's another thing about manifestation, is if you are still in love with your ex, for instance, and your ex still ain't in love with you, I'm sorry, but it ain't gonna work, because you gotta have the same vibration. Now, if you're manifesting somebody who you haven't even met yet, it makes it a lot easier, because the universe can work on, be like, okay, well, this hasn't yet been, like, set and, created quite yet. So it makes it easier for them to bring it forth to you. But if you are wanting to manifest back an ex or a friend or whatever, you've got to kind of be on the same vibration for it to work. So it's a lot of work manifesting, but the universe will bring forth to you what is supposed to happen. Manifestation is a big tool to have in life, and it's not just about finding romance. It's about finding financials. It's about, finding jobs. It's about finding housing. It's about finding even a pet, or even children, or birth, or pregnancy. Like, manifestation, we don't realize it, but all of us manifest things no matter what anyway. There's positive manifestation, like I just mentioned, and then there's negative manifestation, like, oh, today's going to be a shitty day, or today is going to be a sad day, or whatever it could be, right? That's going to bring it to you. The universe is going to be like, all right, well, you want that? Let's give it to you. That's really how it works. Your tire pops and you get really upset, which is very human nature, right? That's human nature to have that problem. But us people, I feel like we're too hard on ourselves, and we really need to take it easier on ourselves. Like, It's not our fault that a tire popped. It's not our fault that we just stubbed our toe. It's not our fault that we could have lost a job. It's not our fault that we could have fell, or it's just examples. I know they're stupid examples, but I don't care. It's the best way I can go about it. That's manifesting things is a whole different ball game. You got to think positive. If you want positive, if you want negative, you're going to have you're going to have a rough time. I would like to start a thing every night where I mix up the papers. And let's do this. I'm going to put my hand, there we go. I'm going to close my eyes and grab a piece of paper, and I'm not peeking, relax. I am. Okay. Boundary is, here, I'll show you. Boundary. It probably is totally backwards on your end, but it's boundary. So whatever this is, it's letting me know that somebody here either is putting up a boundary towards somebody or needs to learn how to set boundaries. If you're having a narcissistic, abusive person in your life and you don't know how to get rid of them, it's simple. You set down boundaries. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Because this is the only thing I can think of. Okay, let me think here. Your kid wants to sleep on the couch, right? But you're like, no, you cannot. You have got to go lay in your bed. You're a big boy or girl. You need to lay down in your bed. You need to close your eyes. I will get you a blanket. I'll get you your teddy bear, and I will sit here with you, and I will hold your hand until you fall asleep, or I will read you a book for you to fall asleep, right? But they still keep pushing. They're like, no, Mom, I'm going to come sleep on the couch. No, Mom, I'm going to come sleep on the couch. You're like, hey, you got to redirect them. You'd be like, hey, listen, I understand you're frustrated and upset, but Mommy says Mommy says no. Mommy wants you to be a big girl or boy and lay down in bed, and I will read you a book. I can talk to you about why you want to sleep on the couch, but you just need to lay down in your bed in your room for now and kind of start to close your eyes and fall asleep. Anyway, they'll keep pressuring you until you give in. But you gotta stand your ground and be like, no, I said you need to stay here. You need to relax. Excuse me. Take time to yourself. Think about your day and think about happy thoughts, right? That's what I have to tell my daughter. I have to tell her, no, you gotta sleep in your bed. I will sit here with you and talk with you. I can read you a book. We can do this, but you've got to stay in your bed, in your room, until you fall asleep. You close your eyes, and I'll say, make sure you think of happy thoughts. Make sure you think about just think happy thoughts. This is a time for you to chill and think about you. Like, take this time and to be all about you. So, that's a boundary, is being persistent and repeating to that person, hey, no, but I'm willing to do this type deal. Somebody who likes to break boundaries is really difficult. Sometimes it's best to set a boundary and walk away, because some people just cannot stand the fact that you just set down a boundary. Like, I don't know, what's another good example? A grandparent wants to come take your kid for the weekend, but they want to feed them cookies all weekend, right? It's just a dumb excuse, a dumb example, I mean. Okay, and you say, well, I am okay with you taking my kid for the weekend, but I would much rather you feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then they can have a cookie. just so they're not eating junk food all weekend, that type of deal. Of course, the grandparents just gonna go do it anyway, but I guess that was a horrible example because grandparents are they're rebels. Once they hit a certain age, they're little rebels, and it's cute. Um, it's just examples, you know what I mean? Like, boundaries are really important to have down with anybody who doesn't like to respect your space or boundary, you know? So that is what I'm getting from tonight. I had the feeling that this was all the subject I needed to cover tonight. Tomorrow I am going to see what my next subject is. I go by my energy and vibrations. I do not go by the book. So, I will leave the website to Sage and spirituality and all that link below. I will leave, what was the other thing I was supposed to leave? It was Sage, and then it was Sage. It was meditation, I do believe. Oh no, I don't think I was gonna put another link down. So I was gonna do Sage, the link to Sage, my Snapchat. If you need a friend to talk to, you can add me on Snapchat. I'll have my link there. And then I think I want to send out a link on either manifestation. I think that's what it was manifestation. But I kind of briefly explained through that. So I think I'm going to cross that off. And if you feel the need to do more research on manifestation, that's up to you. But I'm not going to put a link of that there because I pretty much just summed it all up for you. So yeah, the link to the Sage, if you want to read up more on that, because there could be something I'm missing that you're not getting. So go ahead and feel free to search that. I'll have it in the description below. And then add me on Snapchat if you need a friend, because none of us are alone, and I feel like we all spend more time bringing each other down than lifting each other up as humans. And I feel like it is nobody's right to judge who has what for a belief and who has what for perspective. I feel like we're all born here. We are all gonna die eventually. So we might as well live life to its fullest and follow our heart and intuition and what we believe and don't believe. Anyway, thank you all for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to look at my short videos and my other videos I mentioned on video. You all have a great night, and let's say a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing forth these people who are watching my YouTube channel, and keep them safe and healthy, and help them be guided in the right way with what they're needing in life. And thank you so much for all your wonderful blessings you've given us. Amen. Y'all have a great night. Bye.